All right, Giver.
Okay. What's up, everyone? Welcome to episode 26 of The Sit Down by Funky Moose Records.
I'm Joel.
I'm Mark. And today's episode, we have a guest. Her name is Emma Jean. She is the lead singer of Rymestone, a band from Prince Albert, Saskatchewan. We grilled her earlier tonight. Well, we didn't grill her. We talked to her tonight. And it was a fun conversation.
Yeah, we just hung out.
Yeah.
So we're kind of hoping that you guys might have an hour to kill. Feel free to hang out with us. How you doing, Emma?
I'm doing great. How are you guys doing over there?
We're good. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. It kind of looks like you're in a hockey dressing room there. Whereabouts are you?
Well, that's why it feels right at home. I am actually in a hotel room in Dryden, Ontario, and I'm on my way to Quebec to go plant some trees. I don't usually do this long of a season, but I was injured in my regular season, suffered a spinal fracture, and just had to take some time to get better. So now I'm kind of making up for some lost time, and I mean, like, COVID's on right now, so it's kind of a good time to get work when you can get it. And then I try to use the other part of my season to get really into music and art and stuff. And so while I was injured, actually, I finished off this video. It was something that I had intended that I was going to kind of, chip away at while I was forming, but the reality of the job is just so busy. And I think getting injured and having to go home and not being able to really do too much for the first while, really, like, that was my outlet, my, like, kind of like feeling like I had a purpose and working on something.
Like therapy kind of thing, right?
I don't know so much therapy. It definitely took a lot out of me too. It was definitely like I had to, dig in some days to try and, like, get 20 done or like 30 pictures done, just to kind of make my goal of having it out for Shark Week. I'm the kind of person that, like, if things don't have like a really solid deadline, that they can get pushed back and back indefinitely. So eventually I just had to pick a day, and Shark Week seemed fitting. So that was...
Okay, so what's the obsession with Baywatch?
Not really an obsession, just like it fits so well.
Right.
I know that, like, well, I'm coming to discover anyway, since putting this video out, that probably the generation just above me kind of grew up with Baywatch, and that scene in particular had some scarring effects on people. But yeah, for a time I wanted to get really into Baywatch, but in my personal life, there was a friend of a friend who drowned, and so I kind of, like, lost my taste for Baywatch for a while, but it has obviously returned. Yeah, so I just felt like the way that the scenes transitioned, and the kind of the high drama points, and kind of the way that I set it up with doing it at a very kind of slow frame rate. Like, this is 3 frames per second. So, like, of course it's kind of makes it easier to animate, but also kind of speaks to kind of like the rhythm in the song as well. So yeah, it's just kind of like, I just felt like they had a good union, the two together, and they helped each other to kind of intensify some drama points. And yeah.
Cool.
I mean,
so how did you actually draw this? Was this all computer work, or did you use, like, some sort of paper somehow, or?
So I did this digitally. One could, of course, use paper. Doing it digitally just kind of eliminates one of the steps, which is photographing or scanning what you've done. And the technique that I'm using in this is rotoscoping. So basically, I am drawing on top of film stills. So underneath all of these drawings is kind of, you know, what I started out with, which is just the still from the scene. And so I'm modifying it in different ways to also kind of try to kind of put my own lens on it, and also to try to kind of where I can maybe play to the emotionality of the scene that is not necessarily visible with just viewing something through a camera. You know, like sometimes it takes art, sometimes it takes like color or contrast to kind of get the emotional feel of it across as well. Yeah, so that's
Right.
kind
Well,
of
that's like her blue eyes there when she turns from the boat, kind of closer to the end, right?
yeah.
Like how, yeah. Well, and his too there. You can see the fear. Where did you get like the influence to do this? Like, did you go to did you learn that somewheres or? It makes me think of that movie Scanner Darkly. I don't know if you've
Yeah.
ever heard of that show before, right? Is that kind of the same thing?
Yeah, so there's not too many rotoscope works out there, but it is such a cool medium. I'd love to see more people do it. I kind of got into like using video and combining it with drawing when I was at art school. So I took a BFA at the University of Saskatchewan, and kind of drawing and video were kind of the two focuses that I had there. And I started to kind of get into like I almost kind of like want to call them like Franken videos, because you're kind of ripping them apart and putting them back together. So it's yeah, like I did a few different things, just kind of experimenting with doing that, experimenting with isolating things in a scene, experimenting with like adding my own gestures and drawings to the scenes as well, or the frames. Or also important, you know, and I think this maybe comes out with music too, is timing, very much so. And there's this one really cool guy who does these takeaway shows, Vincent Moon. I was really into him for a while, and he had this one really cool quote. He's like, this is paraphrase, whatever. I'm not gonna get it right, but he's like, I wanna learn to use the video camera like a guitar. And I thought that was so cool because it speaks to like visual rhythm and visual kind of like, I don't know, notes as well.
Right.
Actually, I noticed a trend in the last couple of years when you watch movie trailers of action movies. They're very every scene cuts to the beat of the background music. So that's kind of the same as what you're doing, but in a movie trailer, I guess.
Yeah, and I mean, like how you cut your scenes is really interesting too. I just recently took part with a couple of my friends, Curtis Kerr and John Kendrick. We participated in the Super 8 Paved Arts Super 8 one take event, and so that's using super old technology like a Super 8 camera, and only one take, you know, and that's in very contrast to you know, if you have like an action movie, for example, it's like scene change, scene change, scene change, scene change, elbow, running, you know, like car smash, you know. So the way that you kind of like lay those scenes out, and even when I was making this particular video, like following along with how the people who did Baywatch shot their scenes and how they transitioned them. And I got to appreciate very much the person who is working the camera, you know, like the camera shots, like from under the water, you know. Very, very cool. Like I don't know, things are so fast. You take in things so fast. This is my way of making someone look at 850 of my drawings in 5 minutes.
That's what it is, 850
You're not
drawings?
going to do it at an art gallery. I know you won't.
So that's what it is, 850 drawings.
Yeah, like 850 drawings are in that, approximately.
You could still do it in an art gallery.
More,
Minimize them to like so tiny, so they're all crammed
Yeah.
like in an 8x10, and then you got them all. I wonder what this. Maybe
then-
that's a shark.
Yeah, in the
there.
shape of a shark, maybe.
The possibilities are endless, but really, like, I am so done with this project. I am ready to move on. I'm excited to make some more videos. I have some plans to make some more videos, and they're likely not going to be animation right away. Although, like, I'm not going to leave it behind forever. Like, this hasn't scarred me for life or anything, even though it took a lot out of me. But yeah, gonna maybe try and do some.
Are they gonna
action
be
in-
like the other videos? Is that gonna be like videos for your own music or for like other bands and musicians? Like, what are you thinking? Or for both?
Right now, my plans are just for Rhymestone. Although, like, if it worked out, like if I had a really good idea for someone else, maybe I would take the time to pursue it. I mean, if it made sense. But right now, I think I'm very focused on Rhymestone, and I'm very focused on just kind of my individual arts practice, and I think I should be. Like, I think that's kind of, you know, that's where the attention needs to go right now.
Yeah. And is this the first Rhymestone video?
Not necessarily. Technically, the very first video we put out was just like a simple lyric video for Sorta Mellow, which is on our YouTube channel as well. And then I kind of used vintage footage for a track of ours, Robotic, that I thought also like had the same kind of sense that this one does, that it just fit with things. And that is taken from Attack of the 50-Foot Woman. It's a very old kind of drive-in movie type of a film, and it's, if you guys haven't checked it out, it's worth it. It's pretty cool. So in that one, like, the modifications I did were pretty minimal. Like, I changed the color tone, and I changed the timing slightly, and I changed the timing of the ending part. But that's also one that just kind of, yeah, just kind of fit, just kind of suited the song.
I was listening to your music on Spotify, and when Robotic and Sorta Mellow came on, there was like the drawings that were on there. Is that you that drew those pictures? Like there was a drawing of like a guy. Okay, right on.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, no, I was definitely enjoying it. So, and Neighborhood is like the newer album. Didn't that you guys release that when in 2019? If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, we released it October 31st of 2019. Halloween, my favorite holiday. Yeah, you can see how I like event dates.
Did you have like a big Halloween party, kind of release party sort of thing?
We did. We had a release party at the Union Center in Prince Albert, and it was awesome. People dressed up, had a great time. We decorated the whole place, and yeah, it was fun to play there as a band. And also it was our album release party, and even though he's not on the album, we had recently added Stephen Williams to our band, so Stephen Williams was playing with us for that night as well.
Yeah, so let's go
cool.
let's go back to who is Rhymestone, because we kind of jumped into the video right away. But who are we talking to?
Hello. My
and
name is
begin.
Yeah, so Rhymestone is composed of 4 band members, and there is myself, Emma Jean. There is Jordy Belkey, he is our bass player. Ian Dixon is our drummer, and Stephen Williams is our guitar player. So 4 of us, we like to make noise.
Right on. So how long have you guys all been together?
Well, I would say we've been together for approximately 2 years. Maybe getting closer to 3 these days, but yeah. Because we made the album kind of, I would say within, 6 to 9 months of getting together, and then, put it out, and then kind of been, 2 to 3 years. Let's say 2 to 3 years.
Yeah, because I remember seeing you at Chesterfest last year.
Yeah.
So and you played local. I remember you playing Local Boys, which is also on this album.
Yeah.
Don't remember the other songs you did, but yeah. So it's
Yeah.
it's definitely a year, I guess.
That's sweet that
Is
you
there-
came to. I miss that it's not on this year.
Right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Man, we were stoked
we
for this year.
we
We're
actually
just
had
gonna
Joel
come back
on.
twice as hard next year.
We had Joel on as a guest. What, a month ago, 2 months ago?
Something like that. Yeah, 6 episodes ago or something.
Yeah. So check out that episode. It was fun.
Sweet.
He was
Will
telling
do.
some behind the scenes stories there.
Yeah.
Good times for sure. Yeah, no, like hopefully, like you said, it comes back with a vengeance next year, right?
I think so.
I wanted to ask you, who would you say like influences you? Because when I'm listening to your music, I can't put my finger on it, but it makes me, I'm not even gonna hit the nail on the head here, but I was getting like a retro vibe, almost like please don't be offended if I get this wrong, but like a female Jim Morrison kind of vibe-ish.
Cool.
Is what I was getting. Am I like
I
completely wrong there,
I-
or is that like somebody who might have influenced you?
I told
in
Emma
your
this
style?
before, but her vibe has kind of like I don't remember her name, but the lead singer for Alabama Shakes.
Oh yeah.
I kind of got
I
that.
remember that. Yeah.
That kind of thing.
Yeah.
So are we both? Am I like way off base?
No, I bet we're both way off.
Like, I don't have like my list of these are the top 5 people that are my favorite, have influenced me, are I think are my idols, are the best ever in the world, obsessed with them, etc. I don't have anything like that. I am attracted to people who sing different. I'm attracted to people who have kind of like a unique voice, or kind of like you can kind of sense the passion coming out of them. Like, because I get that. I want that, I want to do that too, and I do it in my way, just what comes out of me is what comes out of me, and it is how it is. I think it's fun. I enjoy it.
That makes perfect sense. Yeah, for sure.
If you're asking like who I think is super cool right now, I think I've recently transitioned from like thinking that I would love to be best friends with Annie Clark to thinking I would love to be best friends with Aldous Harding. Aldous Harding is my new fave right now.
Write it down because I gotta look that up.
All right. If I'm being honest, I have no idea who that is.
Oh wow, I'm so excited for you. She just
Fill
put out this
me in.
album called Designer. Check out the album Designer and check out her music videos as well. She's very creative and odd. She's kind of an awkward person, but she really kind of sings from her heart or her soul or her spirits that are surrounding her. Like, I don't know. Like, she's vague and mysterious. You'll have to check her out.
And that's
Cool.
And how do you Aldous Harding?
So ALDOUSHARDING.
You got that? Oh, you did.
Yes, I did.
Okay.
ALDOUSHERDING.
Yeah, that should get you close anyway.
All right.
And
Good.
who's the other girl you mentioned? The first one?
Oh, Annie Clark is from St. Vincent.
Oh, okay, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, you know her. She's cool. But yeah, like those are the people that kind of like I would want to hang out with that are living, like there's lots of people who have passed who are great artists that I would love to hang out with too, but I gotta limit it to possibilities.
Right. You're
For
stuck
sure.
with us right now.
Yeah. Mark was telling me that before, like, you guys had released the album, and of course before COVID, you guys had just started to tour it. Like, how many shows did you guys get in before? Like, I hate to bring up COVID and stuff like that too, but I am curious, like, how far into the tour did you get before you had to put a pin in that?
We got like maybe 2 out of our expected approximately 9 days of playing that we had hoped. 9-10 days. So we got like maybe a fifth or a sixth of the way. Not very far.
Because I remember you were piled up in a van, and I think it was Jordy in the back, folded in half. That and the picture was like, okay, we're heading back home because everything shutting down or something.
Yeah.
I think that was on Facebook or something.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's a darn shame when you put a lot of time and planning into something, and especially with this being our very first tour, it was kind of a bummer that like we didn't even get to mess it up, you know? Like we didn't even get the chance to mess it up. We didn't even, you know, or do well also, you know, but yeah, so we kind of got the rug pulled out from our feet on that one, but we definitely still got to make some great contacts, and we got to go through the process of what it takes to plan a tour, and we got to meet some great characters on the way, one of them being Liz from Ostella. I spell that with a 0, Ostella. And she came along with us for our tour. She is an awesome artist, and Roisin Seifert also helped us plan a lot of stuff, and we got to make some contacts in Calgary, and we got to make some contacts in Prince George, and we got to speak with the folks at the radio station there, and they were such a supportive community, actually. You know, when the show was canceled, you know, we made a couple other things work with the open mic night and with a kind of impromptu show at the Black Clover. Ostella fit in great there, she being a Irish lass herself. Myself, Scottish, can't quite do it, but I can pretend. But yeah, so you know, things have a funny way of working out sometimes, but we definitely all made the best of the situation that we were put in, and it became apparent that it was, you know, before it was responsible and good business to kind of continue on with what we had planned, but it became apparent after a while that at that time in COVID's eruption, it was not responsible to be out on the road, and it was time to kind of get our butts back home. And also, no one was going to shows anyway, because they also had to get their butts back home.
Right. So do you think there's like a chance that, like, obviously things, in my opinion, they're not going back to the way they were, but to get back to a place where you guys will have the opportunity to tour and like spread the music out there, like, do you guys kind of have a plan for in the near or far future to do something like that?
There's definitely plans to tour again. I think everyone is kind of just waiting to see, well, we are kind of waiting to see how things progress with COVID. You know, the waves and whatever, just kind of get a handle on how things are going to be. I'm glad that things are kind of opening up in different local communities in different ways. I know people are kind of having driveway parties or parking lot parties, or venues are starting to open up in kind of limited capacity, and I think that is awesome, and maybe it'll foster a little bit more of a distant intimacy because there's fewer people, but they're all spread out. I don't know. So yeah, we're just we're reinventing the space, but that's also why it's a great idea for us to be at the moment more than focused on planning a tour, focused on recording our next album, doing things like putting out music videos. You know, those things are great for people to consume. Everyone's on the internet these days, scrolling around. But yeah, I think after I get back from planting some more trees here, it's going to be back into the lab, back into Jordy's studio, Reservoir Recordings, and do some more work on the next album. It's going to be great. I'm very excited.
I saw in the UK they're having a physical distance shows. They're setting that up, and each individual gets its own, I don't know, 3 feet by 3 feet platform, and those are separated. So it's a field of platforms.
Yeah.
So you buy your ticket for that platform. That's where you stay, and then I don't know how you get in and out, but that's one of the ways to do that. But then you're still out in the sun and whatever.
Well, I know there's comics that are like doing drive-in theaters.
Yeah.
Right.
And Matt Blade was doing driveway party. Emma was mentioning.
Yeah.
It too,
Yeah. And
party.
and he had that stage too that they were going through the streets with.
Yeah.
There's all kinds of. If you're creative, you can still get out there, right?
There are options. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you mentioned your next album. Can you tell us a little bit about that, or is that still very secret?
It was secret until Mark just said something. Or?
I don't know if we've like it's not a huge secret, but I don't know if we've necessarily made a whole bunch of announcements about it or anything. It's kind of something that we're working on and will be ready quite soon, relatively soon. All the songs are ready for it. And it's really just a matter of getting into the studio, getting them recorded and mastered, and then having it ready to be released. I'm starting to learn that you have to kind of have everything ready to go. You have to kind of like hold on to it for a while. Maybe you like let a few people know about it, and then when you know the date that you want to set it free, you wait even more, and then you let it go. And for me, that's very hard because I make something and I'm like, nah, send it. but it's and I'm learning the reasons why is because the more time you give to something and the more time you spend setting things up to go well, the more they will go well. We learned a few lessons with our first album in terms of how best to release it. The people that we want to let know that it's happening and in advance, and maybe have a few things ready to go. So for example, one of the first things that we're going to do is get a single from that album ready to be released. So that'll kind of be your first taste of the album. I guess I can let you know that it's going to be a song called Supercilious. And yeah, such a great fun song to play. The album is going to be called After Dark. And what else can I tell you? What else can I drop here? One of the things that I think is going to be really cool on this album is it's going to be Jordy doing the recording with Resevoir again, but it's Jordy 2.0 this time. He's put a lot of time into the process that he's been working with, and he's put a lot of hours into learning and experiential learning, hands-on learning with other artists as well. And he's also kind of fine-tuned what he wants for the equipment that he's working with. And so I think it's going to be cool to record with him a second time and hear a little bit more of those nuances that go on into the recording process, and see how Reservoir Recordings has grown as well.
Yeah.
So you said that you're Scottish, right? Did you grow up in Prince Albert?
Okay, well, I gotta backtrack here. My mom is Scottish. I'm Canadian. My dad is Icelandic, so I'm definitely come from an immigrant family, settler family. But yeah, I don't know. That's my background. Canadian is my thing.
Right. So was it
Very
so?
Canadian.
But like Prince Albert, though, is that where you grew up, or
No,
did you move?
no.
Or...
Yeah, I moved to Prince Albert maybe like 6-ish years ago, and I grew up in a small farming community called Foam Lake, which is on Highway 16. And then I spent a bit of time living in Saskatchewan while I was doing my BFA there. And then I moved to Prince Albert to work in the arts.
Nice. Very cool.
Mm.
And then, so how did you meet up with, like, did you know, like, Jordy before you moved to PA, or did you just kind of meet after you moved to Prince Albert?
So I initially met Ian first. I met Ian on the night that he performed as Dracula at the E.A. Rawlinson Center. Ian is a prolific actor. He's really great. Ask anyone who knows drama in the community, and they'll tell you how wonderful Ian is and how talented he is. Yeah, so I met him while he was Dracula. I had recently moved to Prince Albert, and I just so happened to be in the back smoking area while the actors came out right after the show. That was great, and got to meet him and got to hang out with him more after that. When it became apparent that he was very cool and we got along quite well, and yeah, learned that he was a drummer. Wanted to jam with him for quite a while before I eventually got him to jam with me. And then, yeah, he brought along Jordy when I asked him to back me up. I had been kind of cornered by a coworker into performing, and I hadn't performed for a while since I had gotten to Prince Albert from Saskatoon. And I had a band in Saskatoon, but we broke up because the commute was just too much. So, it's been a while since I played. I was, I don't really want to do it by myself. I could, but, like, Ian, help me out, bro. Let's see, can you just back me up here? My coworker needs me to play some songs and have a show, so we're going to do it. And so Ian got Jordy in on it. Like, I was trying to kind of find a bass player too, and Jordy played the bass, and as well as guitar. Jordy plays a lot of instruments. He plays piano too. And yeah, so we did kind of a little show at the art gallery that I was working at, and it went really well, and we worked really well together as a group, and it kind of became evident through the few times that we practiced before the show and during the show that it was something worth pursuing, and that they were down to kind of be in a band with me, and I was stoked that people wanted to play music, and I felt like it was working. I had admired Ian's drumming for a while. I thought that he really knows when to lay the beats and when to leave them alone, and Jordy just kind of nestled right in there because he's an amazing player, but also because he had a lot of experience playing with Ian as well. They're quite tight, so they just meshed right away. And yeah, later on we ended up adding Steven, of course, like another super talented Prince Albert player that ever since I moved to Prince Albert I thought was amazing. So that was a delight to add him to the team.
Mm-hmm. What kind of writing process do you guys have? Like, do you do like all the music first and then you add lyrics to it, or I'm not a musician at all, so I'm always intrigued on the different ways that musicians write their music, like if they do it individually or together, or so what's your process, like you guys as a band and as like personally?
Um, so it kind of is always something that is it erupts kind of in a spontaneous fashion. Like it could be sometimes when I'm writing on my own, or it could be during a band practice where everyone's together and we just start to get into a jam. Um, but yeah, basically it just starts with playing some music and then singing over top of it. And I do predominantly kind of stream of consciousness style of songwriting where I just kind of go with what feels right. I say just whatever comes to mind in whatever kind of fashion it comes about. And I think one of the biggest things is being okay with sounding bad or awkward. You know, you kind of just have to let that go, and not be too afraid of that. And a lot of good things can happen if you can kind of drop that part of it. Um, yeah, so it can be a lot of fun, you know, and when it feels right, like it's a very cool moment to be a part of, like, yeah. So it's just a matter of doing that and recording that, and then working with the results of that, fine tuning them sometimes in order to make uh, a song that flows better, or a song that is more powerful in some way. And sometimes they come out great as they are, and sometimes I'll change some lyrics a little bit. But yeah, no, mostly it comes from just that moment of playing music and singing your heart out, whatever you feel. Yeah.
Yeah, so I know some artists write the lyrics first and then add the music, but you're doing it the other way around. You just start playing a song and then add the lyrics after.
Like she feels it out, right?
Yeah,
So it's
yeah.
like
I do it both at the same time, both at once.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool.
So like
How-
I don't like write up music and then come back to the music and add lyrics. It happens at once.
simultaneously.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
How old were you? Like, was it for your whole life? Like, you've been in the arts and in music and drawing, or did it like you kind of like how did you get into music? Let's say, like, were you always kind of singing and dancing and all that kind of stuff, or
Um, not really. I mean, maybe some early singing memories include just like cruising around, because that's what you do in a small town when you're 16 and have your license. Cruising around with my friends, just like singing songs in the car. But really, I think when music kind of hit for me, that it became an outlet, that it became like something that really meant something to me, was uh, when I very first started planting trees, actually. um, and it was a combination of, you know, frustration, being out in kind of extreme conditions, working until you're kind of exhausted, and, you know, having things like bugs come at you, you know. There's a certain point where it's just kind of like, you just gotta let something go, you know? You gotta scream at the top of your lungs for a little while, just swear, I don't know, grab it. But I think part of that, like, I don't do that anymore. I don't know. It was a very early thing. I think people go through it. But um, but definitely a part of that was releasing all these tensions and frustrations was with singing. And I had a top 100 soul music playlist that I just had on my iPod at the time. And so, you know, there's other music I listened to too, but that was a big one. And I just listened to all those songs and just sang all those songs while I was out there in the woods. Just there's no one around to hear you. That's the other thing, is when there's no one around to hear you, like, you don't care about sounding bad. You can sound however you want. You can say whatever you want. You can, you know. So just having that freedom initially maybe helped me cross a little bit of a barrier that a lot of other people encounter, where you get that kind of fear to kind of let go as much as you want. And another thing with being outdoors is volume is less of a consideration. I think that it's hard sometimes, you know, people live in apartments, you know, there's people nearby, you feel like you can always be heard. You know, sometimes it's important to be in a space where you feel like no one can hear you, you know, you're the only one that can hear you. But yeah,
it's not moving. Nobody can hear you.
yeah. And your car is a good place. Driving
Yeah.
around. I'm sure a lot of people do that.
Oh
Yeah, I do.
Oh, for sure, I do too. No, that's pretty slick.
So, are you planning, or just to get back to the touring part? What kind of shows are you looking forward to play? Do you want to play in dingy bars or festivals, or what's your ideal gig, so to speak?
Ideal gig, wow. I think that our band is kind of a higher energy band. So I don't think we'd be suited to somewhere like a cafe as much, you know? I do think that like we do well when people kind of have the freedom to get up and move about and be loud themselves, you know, if they
Yeah.
want. You know, I love it when people give me their full attention, you know, but I also really just want people to have fun and enjoy themselves. So, you know, like dingy bars and festivals sound great to me. I love a good dive. But I think right now it's just so early for us as a band. I think that, you know, we would love to play anywhere and everywhere kind of thing because we want people to hear us. We want to connect with people. We want to show what we can do. And yeah, it's so funny that, you know, right when we're ready to kind of show people what we can do, something like COVID happens and makes it a little bit difficult to do that. But
What a pain
thanks so much
in the
for
ass, right?
having our band featured on your show. We really appreciate being able to kind of get out to different audiences and stuff. So
Yep.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like, well, I'm hoping that like when you're back, I'm hoping that we can like all get together and
Yeah.
you guys can do like a little sesh or something. You know what I mean? That'd be
sweet.
slick.
Yeah, that would be slick.
Yeah, we kind of sort of had that idea to do that tonight or whenever we would do it, to have to join everybody in Jordy's studio and just hang out there, but just the stars didn't quite align.
Yeah, not this time. But,
No, but
I still hope that we can do that. Like I said,
Yeah.
when you're back and we can all get together for sure.
Yeah, good things on the way for sure. Excited.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think when I get back, it's just going to be straight into recording the new album and working on a music video that I have right now.
Right on. Is it gonna? Can I ask? If you don't want to answer, you don't have to. But the next music video,
Also top secret.
yeah, top secret. Is it gonna be like live action, or is it gonna be something like that? Is like digital or drawn?
I can't disclose that information.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. That's cool. Leave us in suspense.
You
Definitely.
just have to wait for it. It's going to be great.
For sure. I believe it. I believe it.
Well, do you have a deadline for yourself? Because you
Aha,
work well
there you
on
go.
deadlines.
When can we expect it?
I don't have a deadline right now because I first have to just finish planting. I think that I can't even start working on it until I'm back. So I have to wait for that. But I would say maybe in the fall sometime.
Oh, Halloween again?
Not necessarily. No, not gonna commit to anything. Not gonna say anything like that. Fall sometime.
Okay.
Sweet. Well, I'm hoping that we can get you guys back on for maybe we can get all together for the release of that video. Possibly.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Sweet. Yeah, that would be awesome. Love to come back.
I like that.
Mm-hmm.
What's the time? Is there a time difference?
In Ontario?
Yeah.
Like
2 hours?
2 hours ahead?
Like what time is it there?
It's 9 o'clock here.
Oh yeah, that's what it is
Oh
here
wait,
too.
no, it's not.
Sure?
It is 10 o'clock. Sorry, my computer says it's on my phone.
Okay.
Sweet.
So with having Jordy and his recording studio, um, do would you? This is just. I don't know. As I'm formulating the question in my head, it's like, no, that's a dumb question. So I'm trying to reroute that. Um, you're mostly focused on your own band. So let's say hypothetically there's another what?
Sorry, I was just thinking of cutting that out for like a promo clip for this. Just you flubbing over your words. That's all. Sorry. Too funny.
Yeah.
Did I make you nervous now?
No. I just lost track.
With Jordy having the studio.
Right. So is it Jordy is recording also for other bands then, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, he's got a few different projects on the go.
Right. Would you consider doing collaborations with other bands?
Consider, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Cool.
What do you mean?
I don't know, like play each other's songs or something and then release that somehow as a music video, or have band members from another band join yours and make it a big band. I don't know.
What if you had Rhinestone and another band, but you each play one of the other band's songs and release it as like a single LP vinyl. So on one side it's like Rhinestone playing this band's single, and then on the other side the other band can be playing Rhinestone's single. Yeah. Something, I don't know.
Or they
crazy idea. Or they could just play their own and release songs, the LP single. You're just like, these guys are idiots.
You know, something kind of along the lines of what you're talking about that I think has been a really cool, successful event in Saskatchewan in the past is called Band Swap. Have you guys heard of Band Swap?
Not at all.
We just came up with it.
Band Swap is this event in Saskatchewan where like a bunch of different of the local bands will kind of apply to be in this event. You can sign your band up, but basically all the members get kind of like mixed up. They draw out of hats. These are the new bands, you know, and you have like a limited amount of time to come up with music together and perform it at the Band Swap event. So that's kind of a cool way to kind of mix up creativity and just kind of see what talented people can come up with when they're put into weird situations like that.
Yeah, no, I never heard of that before.
That's actually kind of where my thought process was going, that if you have 2 bands or 3 bands in the studio and you just grab an extra guitar player or an extra drummer or something, and then just come up with something. Because I mean, if you're always in the same environment with band, it often creates the same much of the same
like style.
Yeah.
Style.
And maybe having.
But isn't that?
Yeah,
not the point, but
no, I'm not saying get away from the style completely, but just having another, like for example, we had a few weeks ago we had Paris Pick.
Yeah.
She swaps her band members occasionally to get some fresh ideas in there.
Right.
I don't know. Sorry.
Cool. Yeah, collaboration is pretty awesome. It's one of the reasons why I like being in a band and not just kind of doing my own solo thing. I really enjoy working with other people and kind of like sharing ideas and energy. Although I do find that there are some people that I just click with a lot easier than others. And I think a situation like Band Swap would be cool. It'd be challenging. to see, you know, if I'm put with someone that I wouldn't naturally play music with, how are you going to make it work, you know?
Yeah, for sure. For sure. And
But,
then so
yeah, go
the
ahead.
limited time thing, do you know how long, like, do you have like 20 minutes to come up with something, or you get like a week?
I'm not certain, but I think it was something like 24, 48 hours, something like that.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe we should organize something like that in PA.
A week would be good, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be fun. I think I know the people that did it in Saskatchewan that I could talk to. I'm sure they'd have a lot of really good tips.
Mm-hmm. Sweet. Yeah.
Yeah.
Get some.
Funky Moose Records presents whatever you want to call it.
Swapping of the band.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
What do you got planned for the rest of the night here tonight? Anything, or just chillaxing?
I am going to have a bit of a phone conversation with the guy who I'm going to be working for. Just get an idea of what the contract I'm going to be working is like. And I've got my, let me see, can I get a little guitar and amp back there?
Oh, yeah.
Here.
Nice. Yeah.
The magic of cinema. So I might doodle around on that for a little while. I think it's just kind of a interesting time right now for me because I'm in transition between places and I'm in Dryden, Ontario. Like, how am I here? You know. So I think there's some good energy to kind of pick up on, and who knows, maybe I'll find a song in here somewhere.
Yeah.
How big is that hotel that you're at?
Small.
Is it like
I
a
don't know.
like a motel hotel, or like is it?
Holiday.
Yeah.
Oh man. Do you want a tour? Want to see?
Yeah. Let's check out where the stars are sleeping these days.
Gotta censor something. So messy. So got my bike, got my guitar, got a bed, the TV there. We got some nice concrete decor. You know, it's very sturdy. What's going on? Nice field paint back there. It's perfect. Yeah, like I don't know. I don't necessarily have to be staying at the Hotel Motel Holiday Inn to be happy.
Like an MTV crib.
Yeah, there you go.
I think
Little
it's
mini
also,
fridge there, or no?
Yeah.
oh yeah.
Yeah. What's in the fridge?
Not too much, I'm afraid. But
No mini bar?
Dun, dun, dun. What is that? A case of beer? What is that?
yeah, some old Milwaukee's.
There you go. Yeah.
It's not a nice beer day. It's a cheap beer day.
Oh, that's awesome. What kind of guitar do you have there with you?
Oh, okay, I'll show you. This is my guitar, Misty.
Hello, Misty.
You got curves.
It's an Epiphone. It's an Epiphone.studio. And I got a P90 here. And then this is just the humbucker that came with it.
Mm-hmm.
Hamburger.
Hamburger!
Right on. How long have you had Misty for?
For quite a while. Oh man, how long have I had Misty for? I've had Misty for maybe for like 10, between 10 and 15 years. I know that's kind of a big time frame, but
Is that the only guitar you have, or do you have a whole arsenal?
no, I have two. and I think it's important to have two in case one goes down.
Right.
They have backup. And the other one I've got a, it's a little Dean Explorer style body. It's and then I've got some Gibson pickups in it. And it's great too. It's made of basswood, so it's extremely light. It's kind of a more flashy-ish guitar, although it's also wood. Yeah, I don't know. I think guitars are cool. I enjoy trying to pick different tones, but I'm not as obsessed with it as some people are. For me, I'll tweak the sound after the fact, but the progressions and the melodies are the first things that I try and think about. Sometimes, like, messing around with some pedals, you can get some really cool sounds and that can inspire something. But I think as far as like effects and stuff goes, the ones that I'm most drawn to and most end up using, like I really like fuzz. I like distortion. I usually use the amp distortion. Reverb, love reverb. I don't use delay as much, but I really like it. Steven more so uses the delay, so that's great. He can handle that. We can get it in our songs. And then I have a compression pedal that I use a little bit. It does a good job of controlling the fuzz factory that I use that can get kind of insane sometimes. And then I've got a chorus pedal as well that also is also a tremolo and a phaser pedal, but I typically use it for the chorus aspect.
Okay.
So yeah, that's kind of like the ways I manipulate my sound. Like I've played around with phasers a bit, but I didn't really get into them. I love delay, but it's not really for me. So mostly like reverb, fuzz, compression, chorus sometimes. And then of course the wah pedal. I love the wah pedal.
So, would you consider yourself a guitar player who sings or a singer who plays guitar?
I don't know if I need to answer that question. I'm both.
Okay.
Go together, just like, you know. I can do both independently. I get the most pleasure when they're done together.
Yeah.
But they're both wonderful. They both mean something to me. I would never want to give either of them up, you know. And I could like if I wanted, I could just be a singer in a band, you know. But I play guitar and I write with the guitar for a reason, you know. It's like a part of the whole machine in a way that this eternal machine I've created that makes songs. And like if I played the banjo, then the banjo would be important too, you know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And when recording an album, like when you guys did Neighborhood, do you do like are the songs recorded all in one take, or how do you do that? How was Neighborhood recorded?
Neighborhood was super fun to record. Neighborhood is kind of unique in the sense that the recording took place at many different locations. So it took place in my home, in Ian's home, and in Jordy's home. At the time, Jordy was working with kind of like a mobile unit. Reservoir Recordings as a physical location had not yet been created or finished, you know. So he had his recording gear. He would cart it around with him. We would go to Ian's house to record some drums or vocals there, or we'd go to my house to record some vocals, or we'd go to Jordy's to record some guitars, or whatever we were doing. And so it kind of took on we put our homes into it, you know. But it was really fun. Like we really got into kind of like making really cool mattress forts and stuff. So it was just like being a kid, you know, like just taking your bed, just turning it upside down, like putting blankets over it, like getting into the closet, you know, like all these things that was like trying to get the sound that we wanted. and it was also like, yeah, just like a really fun night when it was like we're all cheering each other on. Like if it's your turn to record, you know, if we're doing drums tonight, then we're all like ready. We're there for Ian, you know, like we're cheering Ian on.
Yeah.
We're like, you know, we're listening back. We're like, oh, this is so good, or like, okay, let's do it again, or whatever. And then yeah, the whole process of recording, I'm excited to do it again. It's so fun, you know. It's this kind of like gradual reveal. I mean, when you're making it, you know, you hear the drums, and then you hear what it sounds like with the drums and the bass. Then you hear what it sounds like with the drums and the bass and the guitar. And then you hear what it sounds like with the drums and the bass and the guitar, and you add your voice. And then you hear what it sounds like when it's got mixed. And then you hear what it sounds like when it's been mastered. And so it's like this little plant that just like grows. And it's pretty after a while.
So
at first it's kind of,
how different.
but it grows into something wonderful.
So when you're so like Neighborhood, for example, if you're piecing it together like that, right, recording everything individually and separately, how is that different from when you're playing it live and you guys are playing it all together? Like, is it intimidating where it's like, holy shit, like this is like maybe the third time we've played it all simultaneously like that, or not at all? Or is it just like second nature?
I think that as a band, we thrive on performing live. It's just such a great energy. And I think performing live, like I could even like say practice is almost like that too. Like we just get so into it, you know, we're there to kind of let something loose and to fine tune it so that we can kind of make the biggest impact when we're actually playing for other people. But yeah, no, I love it. I think it's great. I like it just as much when I'm nervous as when I'm like less nervous and I want to experiment a bit. Like it's all so fun and unique. I'd love to do more of it, and yeah, I'm ready. I'm just gonna wait for the world to open back up, I guess, you know.
Right? Yeah.
Rymestone is itching to play. Rymestone is so ready and excited to play soon.
That's pretty much any artist we talk to right now. It's
Yeah.
like, okay, let's get it over with, and I want to go back on stage and back into the studio.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't suppose we could convince you to give us a little treat. Would you maybe sing us a verse or a chorus with Misty, maybe?
Sure. Yeah.
You don't have to, but okay.
I mean, like, the only thing is, like, I'm in a hotel right now, so I can't be so loud, you know?
It's only 9 o'clock.
Well, here it's not.
Here, yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's 10. Sweet. So what do you got in mind?
Let me think here. You know, like, normally I would play something like Betty because it's such a fun song to play, but it's so high energy, and you know, it being 10 o'clock at night here, I kind of want to play something chill. Actually, no, you know what? I think think I will play Betty for you. That's cool. Do you
All right.
guys?
Give it.
Yeah. Can you hear that all right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Take my number, take me in my hand, take me downtown, don't you understand? Oh, Betty. Oh, is it the right time? Nothing is it the right time to come around? Figure it out, I'ma rate your own Betty. Oh, good God, I'm on this up, ready to go. I need that open road, Betty. Oh, I think I owe you one. Take me by the hand, take me downtown, don't you understand? Oh, Betty. I said, are you for the night? Keep me warm, you keep me tight. Oh, Betty. Oh, I think I owe you one. Oh, that's size, and I'll take you for a spin. I say, oh, that's size, baseball, and I'll take you for a spin. Oh, Betty, you win. I'm getting a knock from the other door. I can't do anymore.
Yay.
Sweet.
Okay, so hopefully
Cool.
you guys don't get me kicked out.
Oh, our fault.
That was pretty awesome. At kind of the last verse there, I'm not sure, like the sound kind of went,
Yeah, it went down.
it like tapered down there a little
Yeah.
bit. So
That might be the audio compression in Zoom.
we'll see on the playback there after.
Yeah.
We could still hear it, but it was like the volume like went from the level it was at, it was like it dropped halfway kind of thing. I'm not
Yeah.
sure why it did that, but
Yeah, not super ideal. And you know what? Like, I don't really have my good audio recording mic with me either. And also, that's a small little battery powered amp. Like, really, things
Yeah.
could be. We're on it, you know.
oh man, but that was fun though.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
It was fun. Yeah, I started to get into it. Like halfway through, I was like, all right, nah.
Yeah. Well, exactly, right? Oh
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
Thank you so much for that.
Yeah, no worries.
Well,
My
not
pleasure.
Yeah. So before you get kicked out, we'll let you go, I guess.
Yeah. We didn't want to.
we don't want to catch that part on camera, right? Like I said, we really appreciate your time and jumping on this with us tonight. And like, I'm looking forward to, I hope we get to meet each other in person.
Yeah.
Definitely.
This has been super cool. Thank you so much for asking Rymestone, and I'm glad I could be here to speak on their behalf and to hang out with you guys. Like, it's been fun and always great to see other people like making music happen, even though COVID's doing its thing. You know, like there's ways that we can all connect and engage with each other, and it's super awesome that you guys are on the same page. You're rocking it too.
Right on.
So where can we find Rymestone?
You can find Rymestone on the internet. We're on social media. We're on your favorite place to play your music, whether it's the iTunes Store or Google Play or Spotify or Bandcamp. And you can also find us on our website, rhymestone.com. And that kind of that'll show you links to buying our album there as well if you want to do that. And we've got some merch links there. And then we also post quite a bit to our Facebook and Instagram page. You know, we'll be letting people know kind of what's happening. We tweet every once in a while. So yeah, there's ways to follow us, and we're always scheming something. So yeah, if you want to scheme with the team, follow us on something, whatever you like.
Perfect.
And yeah.
Awesome. Well, like Joel said, we hope to catch you again soon. And
Cool. Yeah. Hope to catch you in person, and let's hang out and have a Pepsi together. Love that.
You
sounds
bet.
good.
Definitely.
Okay.
Right on.
See ya.
Thank you so much.
All right. See you guys. Have a good night.
Bye bye. You too.